What's up, everybody, and welcome to Weekday Wagers live on our Weekday Wagers channel. I am Daniel Greer. Stepping in with me today will be Marky Model. Mark Wallace will be joining me here just shortly. But it was a fun weekend. I thought we'll get into some of the NBA All-Star Weekend. We'll discuss some of that and whatever happened and surrounding the games, the mini games, the eventual winner, but also Saturday night within the NBA. It was the dunk contest, three-point contest, and some other festivities. So me and Mark will discuss some different surrounding topics involved in all of that. We also have our best bets today. I know I'm in the college game, and so is Mark. So we're going to have college basketball there. And then it is always the Olympic hockey. A lot of people love what's happening in the Olympics, but also Olympic hockey has been hot right now, whether it's the women or the men. Everybody's having a good time watching it. But we don't have a recap screen because honestly, I have been busy all day. And so I arrived 1 minute before the show starts. So me and Mark hadn't had a chance to chat yet. So, Mark, how are you, good sir?
First of all, I just got a news alert on my phone. I was feeling absolutely great. And then I just found out that the great actor Robert Duvall has passed away at the age of 95. So may he rest in peace. But I was having a great day up to that point. I finally broke the curse. I broke it. I broke the curse. I'm in the saloon, baby. I'm in the saloon.
I'm not happy about it. I'm just going to let everybody know I'm not thrilled. Like, I was hoping that this day would never come. I was hoping that we would never have a day where Mark would join us in the saloon because it's not fun. It's not fun having Mark in the saloon now. What are we going to talk about on Friday?
Now, nobody's going to show up.
Yeah, exactly. How did this happen? Yes, it did take him long enough. But what's up, everybody? Thank you for hanging out with us here in the chat. I see the chat's popping as always. Madam Presidente, Joe, I see Nate G and everybody else that's here watching. But it is Monday, and it is a very quiet Monday, Mark. Is there anything besides college hoops and maybe some Olympic hockey, which I know that the women have played? Can we get a update on the women's Olympic hockey?
Yeah, so the U.S. team absolutely destroyed Sweden. I know that they are now awaiting to find out who they play in the medal round.
Okay.
Before they go into what everybody expects to be the gold medal game between the U.S. and the Canadians again. The Canadians play at 3:10 Eastern time today, so they should have no challenge with who they're facing. I'm trying to remember who they're squaring off against. But I do know that the U.S. the men's hockey side has been just full of a little bit of chaos, but the Americans are just absolutely taking care of business and putting the world on notice that this is their Olympics. They have already received the bye. They won their group. They received the bye, and they will play in that the second round of the medal round on Wednesday.
Yeah. Wednesday at 3:10 p.m. Eastern time. They will be taking on I'm a winner of a game. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not looking at the actual the tournament right here, how it plays out, but they'll be playing somebody who will have just played on Tuesday. And so I would assume it's Latvia and Sweden just because this is the last game. It just makes the most sense. I don't know exactly how it all works out, but that's the last game on Tuesday. So maybe that's who they would play since there's the last game on Wednesday. But going back to that Monday or today's game, it's Canada versus Switzerland, and it should be going very about an hour. It should be that. So at that point, do we know when we're getting the eventual Canadian hockey team against the USA women's team? Do we know when that championship might be?
I believe that is on the 19th or the 20th is the gold medal game.
Okay, it's on it. Yeah, you're right. It is on the 19th. It is the bronze plays at 8:40 a.m. and then at 1:10 Eastern, it is the gold medal game. So it'll be going on live. So Thursday, we'll make sure we give you an update completely. We will not have Robbie as of right now. I haven't even asked if you're going to be joining us, but hopefully you have time to join us Thursday. You
Oh,
don't?
yeah.
Okay.
Ready?
So I'm hoping. We'll see. I believe I believe Robbie is off on Thursday. I believe.
I think I'm flying on Thursday.
So it might just be me and you, or me and a friend. We'll figure that out behind the scenes after the show. But I just looked at the schedule today, and Robbie is off on Thursday, so I'm gonna make sure that we're good. Either way, we'll figure it all. We'll figure it all out. But talk about Robert Duvall, because I see right here we have Joe in the comments saying, I have no idea who Robert Duvall is. So let's bring me up to speed as well as everybody else. But it looks like, in Days of Thunder, I was not aware. I'm not really too sure of who exactly he is. But was this his legendary moment on screen for Robert Duvall?
Oh, I don't think so. I think from a sports kind of feel, this was really Hollywood putting NASCAR on the main stage, and Robert Duvall was the chief. It's not the chief mechanic, but he was in charge of the team of mechanics and was doing the racing, calling the shots for the driver, basically. Excellent performance in Days of Thunder. But yeah, he's been in a ton of movies. I know you know who Robert Duvall is.
Okay, I'd have to see exactly who it is just to refresh my memory. So we'll see. Who is this? Preston Boom Boom says, "Bad that I know him because of Kicking and Screaming." Have you ever seen that movie?
No.
All right, it just shows young kids, you would know. Older kids, probably not.
Well, he was in The Godfather. He was in Apocalypse Now.
You know what? Screw this. It's our show. We can do what we want. Let's Google Robert Duvall. Oh, okay. Okay. I know exactly who that is.
Yeah. He was Lieutenant Colonel Kilgore in Apocalypse
hold on.
Now.
I don't remember him from.
He loves the smell of napalm in the morning.
I don't remember him. I remember him. Meet the Fockers. Is that same guy?
I don't remember him in Meet the Fockers.
Oh, Four Christmases. That's what it is.
Yeah.
4 Christmases. He was the dad. He was the dad. And so yes. Okay. He was the dad to the guy. I'm drawing a blank right now, but yes, he was the dad. That's all. That's where I remember him from. And I'm not a movie buff. I don't even remember Godfather that much, just being awesome. And then like Kimberly's saying Lonesome Dove and Sling Blade. Sling Blade I've seen, but I don't know Lonesome.
I don't remember him in Sling Blade.
Listen, we'll go down. We'll go down and look at all this. But yeah, 4 Christmases, Kill a Mockingbird, Gone in 60 Seconds. Don't remember that one at all. Just Jack Reacher. Okay. There's a lot of these that he's been in. He's like the old school dad or the old school gangster Godfather type. So
he was that badass. Just was a badass. You know what I mean? And that was his role. In Apocalypse Now, the guy was he couldn't care. There's bombs going off around him everywhere, and he's just out there standing there having his cup of coffee. Like all this is normal.
Yeah, just look at his face. He's just like, I am the ultimate badass.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to Robert Duvall. Rest in peace. Obviously, going over the rainbow for sure. But let's go ahead and get to our plays today because we want to make sure we get these locked in before lines possibly could move. But it is college basketball. We'll get into that, but as well as we want to talk about the NBA. Anything that we're looking forward to close out the show, we'll hit on some Olympic hockey because obviously hockey has been king right now for the Olympics here on this show. And I never thought I would say that.
Are you aware of the controversy surrounding the curling competition?
Yes. You mean
Canada, a bunch of cheaters?
Just a tip. All right, let's get to that Houston, Iowa State game. And then I'm going Dukies. Let's go.
All right. Yeah, we're going Houston, Iowa State. Look, this is a marquee matchup of two teams that are in the top 10 of KenPom ratings. This is going in. We're actually getting a price here on the total, like it's going to be a defensive battle. I don't think so. And I'll tell you why in just a second. But we're going to take the total to go over 134.5. You can get that at minus 115. Iowa State is at home and they can shoot the lights out from deep. Houston ranks in the bottom third of the country when it comes to giving up 3-point shots. I expect the Iowa State to come out firing from deep and firing often. They will run this thing up. The spread, it's super, super tight. This is supposed to be, I guess, a competitive game as far as the books are looking at it, right? There's no team that has a real clear advantage. You can get Iowa State on the money line at minus 135. So there's not a real big gap between these two, which also plays into our favor because a close game means free throws at the end and overtime, if needed, to get us past this number.
All right, I like that. I'm going to go from one big matchup to the other, kind of. I'm going to go with the Duke Blue Devils. We're going to go team total over the 80.5. It's at minus 110. I looked at the spread here, and it was minus 19.5 roughly. So we're looking for Duke to win by 20 points. A conference game, big win. Like I could see it happening, but I also am so nervous about that back door. And so I thought, the only way they get there is this, like maybe an 81-61 game or 81 plus points for them to get a 20-point win. And so I'm going to go ahead and stick to the team total in this one. They just played. It was North Carolina. They gave them up 87 points, and they played just 2 weeks ago against Duke, and they gave up 83 points. And so I'm looking at this Duke team who is going to be locked and loaded heading into the end of February, getting ready for March Madness. We're not far away. And so I like Duke to cover this line of 80.5 points at minus 110. And also, Mark, I think we got a little rank that. And I'm feeling good about college basketball. I'm seeing it better now that everything's kind of coming together. And so I decided, let's go ahead and rank that top 5 title contenders for this season's college basketball. And I was looking, and one of your teams will be out of my top 5, and one of them will be in my top 5, depending on who wins. So I love that it's just playing out so perfectly for me. So we're going to get either Houston or Iowa State for sure in the top 5. And if they lose, you're gone. You're dead to me. This late in the season, a big loss. Yeah, I'm going to move them out of my top 5.
Really?
Yep.
After their entire season, their body of work, you think that tonight it boils down to if you win, you're in the top 5. If you lose, you're out?
Well, just as of right now, because this is a good metric of like they could be ranked 6th, 7th, 8th. But like I'm thinking of like teams that are really starting to fire on all cylinders that have legitimately have a shot to win. And so I saw that matchup and I couldn't decide if I wanted one of them in, both of them in, one of them out. And there's a lot more than 5 true title contenders right now.
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
I figured, you know what, loser leaves town match tonight. So we'll see how it all plays out.
Now, here's a question for you. I know that if you're especially looking at college basketball, the SEC has been a college football just juggernaut, right? They have been, it's legitimately almost every team in the SEC has a shot to make a run at the college playoffs. Do you think which conference in collegiate basketball right now is probably the equivalent to the SEC in football?
Right now, this year for sure is probably is it Big 12? Is that right?
You think the Big 12?
Yeah, because the ACC is not, they're not top to bottom. You know, you have Duke, Virginia, Louisville that are good. North Carolina is good as well. Like I think that they're always consistently good, but I don't think that they're like ever going to have the highs and the lows. And I think the Big 12 right now is head and shoulders above others. I was looking at that today because I was trying to figure out how I wanted to rank these. And I believe that Raphael was talking about the Big 10, but I don't think the Big 10 is anywhere what I would say a really solid conference this year. And I don't know if he meant something different, but I was looking at like even the Big East, you only have UConn, St. John's, the Big 12, all in the top 25 is Houston, Arizona, Kansas, Iowa State, Texas Tech, and BYU. Like they're top heavy.
Yeah.
And so I think you could look at other conferences and say, hey, they have a lot more teams that are better, but I don't think top heavy. I think Big 12 is the biggest one.
Yeah, I was just curious because I think that I know Duke is taking on my Syracuse Orange, and they're going to absolutely crush the Orange tonight.
Yeah, it'll be a thumping.
Yeah. But it's interesting in the sense that there really has in the ACC has become what was once a top to bottom, very difficult conference
Yeah.
It's separated between those top 4 teams, and then the valley or the gap between the rest of the conference is huge.
You talking about the ACC?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we're seeing. And honestly, you could look at the conference standings right now. Clemson, Miami, NC State are better in the conference. But if you're looking at true contenders, I think you had to look at it differently. And I look at it as, hey, these teams just aren't as good. They might have a better conference record, and you might see them ranked a certain way. But there's a reason that UNC and Louisville are both in the top 25, and maybe those other teams that are above them in the conference standings aren't. It's tough with college basketball. I know a lot of people, watch it and pay attention to it, but I don't. I look at some of these conferences and how everything's playing out, and you have to have a true test going into the actual tournament. I'm not saying your conference tournament. No, I think throughout the season you got to be able to get up and win these big games, either on the road or just win a big game. And a lot of these conferences don't play that. Like the Big Ten, and Joe likes the Big Ten. Michigan's good. I like Michigan. I don't think they've really been tested pretty much, on a consistent basis all year. And so, yeah, they might look good on paper, but can they really look good and win enough games to the tournament consistently? I don't know if they can. Even though I do like Yaxel Lindeberg, I don't think that team, even though they have a good coach in Dusty May, I don't think that they're legit in the Big Ten.
What do you think is the fallout or the result from Arizona losing its last 2 games?
I think you have lulls. I think you get bored. In all honesty, I really do think it is. And I look at Arizona; they haven't really played a tough schedule, really. And Houston the same; they haven't played just an overwhelmingly tough schedule either. They played good schedules, but not tough. I'm just curious, like if I look at this Arizona team, are they frauds? I don't think they're frauds, but like when you start losing back-to-back games, yeah, it could be bored. It could be young kids just honestly just not preparing well enough. And sometimes you need a gut check this early. But my God, like there could be a fraud team out there, and you're like, hey, you just wasn't as good. These other teams stepped it up and you didn't. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I never expected Arizona to go back-to-back for a loss this year.
Yeah, and then the money team, Texas Tech, they're getting so much money. So like they're back into the mix, as Boom Boom saying here. They're actually a team that is competing well right now. And so I'm digging in more and more to college basketball. I try to stay early on. You grab some teams, some wins that maybe that enough about. And then as it matriculates throughout the season, then you actually have some time to let things settle. And then you got to find that team that you can go with, and team that's the hottest, just like Florida was last year. Florida was the hottest team in the country, and they played
going to the tournament. Yeah.
And Walter Clayton Jr. was a guy who was on fire. He was in fuego, just as Kemba Walker was back in the day for UConn. Like you need a guy who's going to just be able to put a team on his back. And so we'll see. But yeah, so Boone brings up a good spot. Cole Pete has been out for Arizona, so maybe that he's the glue that's kind of been holding it together.
Yeah, but then I think to your point, DG, that goes to say, well, yeah, but how does a team go from being that good with one player to very beatable without him? And maybe they are a fraud.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like any team's an injury away from being looking fraudulent, we'll say, but also like missing a player, but maybe there's a lot of things that can go on. These kids are, they're 19, 20, sometimes 21-year-olds that are playing that have a lot of other stuff on their mind and they're dealing with as well. So I always take a grain of salt with the college sports in general.
It's like watching a Duke basketball game and I'm like, oh, those are the Boozer twins.
Oh my God. I remember watching.
I remember when his dad was playing. Like,
I remember watching Pops Boozer, Carlos Boozer play, and he was with Jason Williams, but also Mike Dunleavy, Shane Battier, all those guys. Like that was a team that I loved. That's where I literally fell in love with Duke basketball, was because of the JJ Redick, Jay Will, all those teams. And Shane Battier is my favorite player of all time, always has been. And because of that, that's when I started falling in love with Duke. And so it hadn't wavered. I thought it would after Coach K, but Sean Shire He kept me home, baby. Kept me home.
That explains a lot, though, about the way you play basketball. That Shane Battier was your favorite player.
That literally, like, I would say that you a lot of times coaching now, I realize like all the small details, and when I see the players like that I love, my favorite player. Let's go do that. I think it'd be interesting to do this real quick. Favorite basketball player was Shane Battier. He ended up coming to the Grizzlies, and so that was kind of cool. If you had to guess, my favorite baseball player of all time. This one could be a little easy. Any idea?
Favorite baseball player of all time?
All time. Shortstop. I grew up shortstop. That's what I played. He was a taller shortstop.
It's not Ozzie Smith.
Wasn't Ozzie Smith. I effing hate the Cardinals.
Taller shortstop.
One of the taller shortstops.
O'Neal.
Who is O'Neal? Shaquille?
Who? Who's your favorite shortstop?
I love that there's actually some people saying Jeter, A-Rod, loved all they were great. Who is Pedro Serrano?
Pedro Serrano. That's hilarious.
That's a good one. Cal Ripken Jr.
Oh, I did know that.
So my first dog I had as an adult, I named Ripken. And so, Cal Ripken Jr. and he was, if you can't tell, my type of player is the grinder. He's the guy that does a little bit of everything. And so Shane Battier, the grinder, like the glue that kind of helps. Yes. And like you're talking about the Iron Man himself.
Never saw a foul he didn't like.
Yes. I was trying to think. All right. So do you have like a definite favorite of a certain sport?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Okay. Give us your first one. Let's pick a sport and let's figure it out. Oh, and Boogie's like Griffey. My brother ended up being a Griffey, A-Rod, Jay Buhner fan. Who's second baseman? I can't think of his name. I love the Seattle. They were my second favorite team. He was the biggest Griffey fan. We both got the Griffies, the shoes back in the day, the teal and the black. Love those. So yes.
My favorite NBA player.
Okay. Favorite NBA player.
Guard.
All right. Let's go. Give us an era, because we're going to have to go back, right? 80s?
Yeah. When did he go pro? Late 90s is when he went pro.
Late 90s went pro.
No, I'm sorry. Late 80s is when he went pro.
Okay. It wasn't Carmelo then.
No.
No, they're old shoes, man. Sorry. Just doing a show, if you don't mind. I know. Have a good day. I will say basketball player. Is it Jordan?
No.
I don't know. Give us a team.
A team? Utah Jazz.
It wasn't. Was it Jeff Hornacek? It can't be Karl Malone. We can't do that right now.
No, he's a guard.
Oh, a guard.
Yeah. John Stockton played with Karl Malone from Spokane, Washington.
Okay.
Went to Gonzaga University.
What did I say? Didn't I say John Stockton?
Mm-mm.
What did I say?
You said the other guy, Hornacek.
Oh, I said Hornacek. I'm an idiot. I meant John Stockton. I'm sorry. Yes, John Stockton. Why do you like him?
Well, I grew up 4 houses down from the Stocktons in Spokane, Washington. When we moved from Southern California to Spokane, Washington, I used to play pickup basketball with Johnny at the high school that I went to, which is Gonzaga Prep, which is affiliated with the university. So he used to come over there and we'd play pickup games. And the guy was 6 feet tall and had hands that were absolutely just a catcher's mitt. I mean, they were huge. Yeah. And he's the only one that I have ever seen actually get faster when they dribble the ball. I could watch him play basketball all day long. So
I love that. All right, before we get to your next sport, actually, first give us your sport, and then I'm going to start showing some of these other for these baseball ones. You had to pick a sport.
We'll go. Well, you went baseball. I'll go with baseball.
All right. We'll go for you in baseball in a second. But I see a lot of people was guessing or whatever. But now Joe says Kirby Puckett was his. I would assume these are their choices. Frank Thomas for Miss Kim, um, Tony Perez when she was
Wow.
growing up. That's a throwback. And I think it was Brett Boone I was thinking of for the second baseman there. Michael Jordan is the only answer. I believe the problem is so many people had him as their one. I love Jordan. Like I needed to have my guy. Like, if that makes sense. Like, you kinda
Yeah.
need your guy.
Right.
I think Jordan could have been almost for everybody an answer. They
Oh,
are just
oh,
getting mad at you for
Dr. J could have been another one. The guy just
19.
changed.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
wasn't born
84.
back then, though. Yeah, I was born in '84, so your favorite player in '84, this is awkward.
Yes.
Um, Kim says MJ, but Raptors are also her favorite team. So it was Vince Carter. I love Vince. I love listening to Vince now. I actually picked Team Vince to win in the Rising Stars, and they ended up winning. Boom Boom likes Steve Nash. Miss Kim also likes Tony Gwynn. My second favorite player ever was Chipper Jones, a former shortstop, moved to third base. That's what I did in college. And then eventually I found myself out of the infield because there were people that were being drafted playing there. So I needed to find myself to the outfield where I could use my bat. And I ended up hitting 330 to 430. I went up 100 points just from moving to the outfield in the last two seasons that I played, just because there is literally, and I don't know if people understand this, there is so much less pressure when you move from third base, which is a hot corner, which is the only place I've ever hated playing in my entire life. I played a little bit at first base and had a good enough glove, but I hated third base because literally you're just a guy that has to be so handsy, and like all you have to be one step either way or one step in, whatever. Everything has to be like quick, quick, quick. I wasn't that player. I effing hate third base. It's the stupidest position in the world. So yes, I moved to left field and hit so much better because just free of thought. So it's really cool. So uh, I'm not doing that last one. All right, let's go to your baseball real quick. Sorry, Joe. Let's do. All right, so I'm so confused. All right, so I know you live up in the Northeast,
Mhm.
but talked about Washington, and I was not aware that you grew up in Washington.
So actually, I'm from Southern California.
Oh my God,
I lived in Southern California for the
you're
first
such a
15 years of
mutt.
my life. Moved up to Spokane, Washington. Went into the military from Spokane, Washington. Ended up meeting my wife. She was from upstate New York. We settled back here in upstate New York.
Hmm. Okay, well, Miss Kim said that the Tony Gwynn one was for you. So is Tony Gwynn right?
100%.
Wow,
Yeah. Yeah, that was a great guess. I saw that. I was like, damn, that was good.
good.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I love Tony Gwynn, master hitter. Why Tony Gwynn?
Because I was never, for me playing baseball, I was never that guy who was hitting home runs. I was never that guy who was, the slugger. Anything like I was. Look, baseball. I was barely making the team. Okay, and so to watch a guy like Tony Gwynn just get up and hit a single, and just make contact with the ball, that for me was like, okay, that's how I can
Mm,
contribute. I don't have to be the home run guy. I don't have to hit the long ball or be the fastest. I could just get on base. Let me get on base. So yeah, and I
yeah,
love watching him play.
yeah, definitely one of the greatest hitters ever for sure. I love Tony Gwynn. He was a guy that obviously gone way, way far too early.
Mhm.
But it just honestly just was so smooth with everything. A lot of my coach for my first school I was at he taught us so much about Tony Gwynn because I was one of his favorite players and the way he hit. And so I think he was even a lefty. I think he was switch hitter, but a lefty as well. And so was able to just kind of just lay it down and he put it anywhere he wanted to. Football, I see that Joe's taking a jab at me saying my favorite player ever is Dak. I would say that I don't know if I have a favorite player ever for the NFL. I'm a Cowboys fan, and so it'd probably be on the Cowboys.
I was just going to ask you if you had to pick your all-time player that got you really following the Cowboys, or something that got you so engaged in football, who would that one player be?
Man, I loved Emmett. Like Emmett was a grinder, dude. He was, and if you can tell from my type of player, I need the guy who grinds a little bit. I that was going to be my other one, as Preston's saying here, Tebow. I love Tebow. Tim Tebow was awesome. For college, I would say it would probably have to be Tim Tebow because he was the guy who the speeches, like it resonated with me, and it was obviously into the early 2000s. I believe it was 2002, 2005, somewhere in that realm. But yes, but I was never the NFL. I love the Cowboys. I love cheering for them. But Emmett, I like Michael, but I wasn't like into Michael. Troy was great, but Troy was just always he didn't connect with me as well. And I'd say so. It had to have been Emmett, in my opinion. But I don't know. What for you?
For me, pick a Charger that played during Dan Coryell's tenure as coach, and yes, they're my favorite.
Really?
J.J. Jefferson, Kellen Winslow, Dan Fouts. Muncie, although he had a drug problem, but he could run the hell out of the ball.
Yeah.
For me, watching the Chargers play really shaped my admiration for the sport.
Nice. Greatest Charger of all time. Go.
Dan Fouts.
Not LaDainian Tomlinson? Really? Wow. That's shocking to me.
I would have LaDainian in the top 5, but you can't have the greatest Charger ever without Dan Fouts. Oh my God. Bambi. I just forgot his name. Junior Seau. The receiver Bambi was his nickname. It was earlier. Why can't I think of his name right now? Kellen Winslow, J.J. Jefferson. There's so many. It does help explain why they've won so many championships. I can't even say it with a straight.
Sean Marion.
Sean Marion. Yeah, that was a great one. Cool. Yeah.
So there's so many. You look back. I have a question for the chat because I do have to get out of here because, as you know, it's President's Day, and I just had visitors come in because that's what we do on days that are stupid holidays. No disparage to the presidents, but that means that my wife goes to work, but she leaves the kids, but I still have to work, even though you know what I'm doing. Bolt up, fam. But I will say, I want to know real quick before we get out of here, if you have any suggestions on doing a rank that, like a top 5 of stuff, because I have plenty of ideas, but I'm curious what other people are interested in. Like, would a top 5 of a certain team? Because then I feel like I'd have to go through and do all the teams. I think that'd be tough to do. But I'm curious. Shout out Danny Woodhead from Nate G there.
Wow.
I'm curious of what a top 5 ranking would be for if you're thinking of like, hey, what are 5 things that if you rank these, people would be interested in knowing about? And so if you have any, throw them in the comments, whether it's live or after. Mr. Kim says top 5 sports moments. I think that's good. I would love to figure out a way to be able to have the moment. Just like I want to do the top 5 like dunk for the NBA dunk contest and show the actual dunk. My issue is I don't know enough about the exact copyright issues on how long I can show stuff, what videos I can or can't show. So I'm always being very careful on video, what exactly I can show. But anything that pops into your head real quick.
The name of that Charger wide receiver, Lance Allworth.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Nice.
His nickname was Bambi. I love the idea of breaking down the top 5 players from a specific team. There's 3 of us on this show. I mean, we could get through teams fairly quickly.
Maybe we do that like at some point, because I know I'll have a top 5, like a championship contender for Major League Baseball as well before the season starts. Just because I think that's always interesting and people can argue. Everybody thinks their team is good before the season starts. But yeah, we could go through all that. And I see top 5 fast food desserts. And he's saying the Sonic Blast is the GOAT from Boom Boom. The only problem is that's great, but that might not be the what we. I don't know if that would hit as much for the sports show, but maybe people would enjoy it as well. Top 5 for pop culture stuff. That could be good. Man, yeah. Listen, I'm just gonna be honest. I am so white. I am not good at pop culture stuff. I have no riz as the kids. I'm white bread right now. So I need some culture in my life.
The problem is, Wanda.
Yeah, I grew up in a rough part of town, and I don't have the culture as much as I used to. I've been whitewashed, so I need to get some more culture. So maybe I'll have to dig into my cultured roots and see if I can get the some more pop culture stuff in here, because I'm very boring and bland.
When you think of pop culture, what do you think of?
I think of music, and I think of like music, movies, like what's really cool. I think of what's cool, like, and I'm cool in the shows. I think I'd be good on the shows, different shows that are hot right now. But music, I'd be so bad at, like pop culture moments. I'd be so bad at those things. There's no cool factor to me anymore. I am way bland. That's what I think. What do you think of when you hear pop culture?
Pop culture, the same thing. Music, movies, basic societal themes.
Right.
It's a big blend of everything that makes us. So I think that there's so much, and don't worry, you get cool again as you get older.
I hope so, because right now, not very cool. But I will say, like, I love embracing and learning new things, and so I am just so bad about. I'm trying to learn from my kids, like, hey, what is still cool, because I don't know anymore, and so I am just bland, and so I'll try to figure out. We might need a pop culture person, and looks like Miss Kim is trying to step up and take that mantle. So we'll see. We'll see if she will be our pop culture queen. We'll see. All right. Well, that's all we got. There's no light the lamp. There's not the lamp to light.
Can I just make a really quick announcement, because we have the start of Major League Baseball season happening. The spring training starts on the 21st, I believe. Right, this weekend. This coming weekend. Prior to the regular season, we are going to run a little contest, a little game at Just a Stat Sports. If you can correctly predict the number of, what am I trying to say? The total difference between LA Dodger wins and Chicago White Sox wins. If you can correctly identify that number, there's $100 on the line at the end of the MLB season.
That's pretty cool. All right, I like that. And so we'll discuss more of that tomorrow, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, stay tuned.
I'll put together a whole list of people, so we have everybody's responses recorded, so we know what's going on.
All right, let's get it. That's a lot of fun. All right, we'll do all that. Well, thank you all for hanging out with us. It's been an enjoyable day for sure. And thank you for, honestly chatting it up. I love when we can interact and kind of do this type of a show, and did not plan on any of that at all, Mark. We didn't plan on anything. And yes, that is so true, Boogie.
Boogie, there's a band out there. I really give them a quick listen to. It's called Side Quest. They're phenomenal.
And yet we still do not have a Side Quest played music theme for this show on the intro, the outro, and we know everybody. There is nothing Side Quest on this show, Mark. Still, we have nothing. Go look in the mirror.
No, I completely forgot about that.
Apologize and just figure it out.
You even talked to Zach and asked him to do it, and we had dropped the ball. I will. Yeah, this is very awkward.
How cool would it be to hear that? Rank that. Rank that. I have words. I have everything.
Go to the outro now. I'm calling Zach. Be like, where the hell is our music?
All right, we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll have some side quests. All right. We'll see everybody tomorrow.